Greetings, programs. And just like that, a month goes by with no videos from me. What am I doing? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm being real busy. So I took care of a bunch of projects. I've been doing a lot of stuff on my weekends. I have been away from Tuesday Night Coffee. I've been away from casual riding. I haven't been taking any time on my lunch breaks to go out and ride. I haven't even gone to run errands on the bike for a while. So Lydia has been hanging out other than getting me back and forth to work. And recently, meaning just today I got her back, she was in for her 3,800 mile service. And now she's all pepped up and she's happy, and her chain is cleaned and oiled and tightened, and all the other levels are checked, and everything's been fastened and retightened and taken care of. So I want to thank the good people at Motorsport Hillsboro, or Hillsboro Motorsport, depending on how you prefer to reference them. I have a deal. I'm on an extended maintenance thing with them, so they are doing all my service stuff for me up to twice a year, and I'm really satisfied with that. I mean, I'm technical, but I'm not mechanical most of the time. Like, I can do stuff, but I'm not a huge fan of being responsible for learning an entire trade surrounding my bike. Like, riding the bike is a hobby. These videos, sort of a sub-hobby of that hobby. But what's not a hobby for me is all of the work that it would take to maintain it. So it's a personal choice. Like, I'm paying a premium rate for them to do that stuff for me and replace parts up to a certain point that wear out, and that just saves me hassle. I'm happy with that arrangement, frankly. So I get my bike taken care of, and they get business, and I get to know that, when it comes time to ride, my bike is always in good shape. Now, right now, I am off to do something that I cannot have done by them, which is I am missing one of the screws from one of my toe sliders. So I'm going to run to Home Depot and see if maybe they have the right kind of screw for that, and I'll just pick up something cheap. So, apologies for having the sun right in frame. Hopefully that's not washing out the whole picture, but chances are it is. We'll get in the shade here as soon as we can. I have been fighting being really, really busy with stuff, and haven't been able to get videos done. So, the crux of what I'm up to has been this ongoing tailoring project that I've been doing for a couple in Washington, and finally got one of the last garments out on that. So at this point, I'm waiting on them to send one thing back for alterations, and I got some hats that I'm going to make for them that are not really urgent, but I do need to get it all done, and I've gotten to a weird point. So today's life topic, like how's life going and what are you up to kind of stuff, is I've had this, I've reached a realization, and maybe it's a realization I've had before, but I've reached the realization again, I guess, or like it's been called back to my mind, that when everyone's got a comfort zone, right? Like, you've got the stuff you do that you're comfortable doing, and you've got a groove in the way that you behave when you are sort of, when you have no other energy, when you have nothing else you do, you got a certain set of behaviors that you're going to revert to. And then you got, the stuff you aspire to when you have extra energy, when you've got the oomph to get up and get out the door and go try stuff and be someone other than just your resting rate. When you've got extra oomph, then you're ready to go out and engage with people in a way that's different than your normal self. Whether that be, if you're an introvert, that might be working on getting out and being personable and more gregarious than you usually would be. Like I'm an introvert, so for me, I have a tendency to kind of hide in my house and take care of projects and just work on things and not so much deal with people. Not that I don't deal with people at all, but like I don't engage the same way that I would if I had all of my energy to spare, if I wasn't stressed out. So I've talked before about all the stress that we're under from the house sale and trying to rent it and all the stuff that's going on with that. So that is sapping my strength, and not in like a terrible way, not like I'm breaking down or anything, but like just it leaves me tapped. I'm gonna run in here and see if I can find what I'm looking for. I am not gonna record that, and I will come back out and talk once I find it or don't find it. Well, that's too bad. I talked to a really nice guy, and he was very helpful. Let me borrow screwdrivers so I could pop out one of the screws on my boot and test it against the ones they had in there. And no, unfortunately, they don't appear to have what I need. Seems like my toe sliders may have screws that are metric. So he suggested going down to Ace because they might have more metric parts. And I'm going to go do that if I can get there before they close. And I should be able to. Yeah, that's too bad. But you know what? I appreciate that he came and looked with me. And we couldn't figure out what it could possibly be. Didn't seem to be right, so he didn't leave me wrong, and he suggested that I try another place. So could have been worse, and I appreciate that that's the way that the Home Depot employees get things done. Because I'll be frank, Lowe's doesn't impress me. I've been there a few times, and every time I go to Lowe's, I feel like you get ignored. And then if you ask them a question, they generally tell you they don't know. And I feel like that's not the way to retain your customer base. Hello. Hello, officer. I'm a mild-mannered motorcycle rider. I don't ever, ever, ever go faster than the speed limit. Doesn't say no turns on red. I think it'd be fine here, but question is, does he decide to pop out after me and get me for something? Not that I'm going to be doing anything other than the speed limit. Oh, it's exciting. Is the police officer going to come after me? I'll tell you the answer right now is no, he's not gonna. He was in the other lane. I didn't do anything special. Pretty sure he's just gonna leave me alone. Yeah, he's not back there. Whatever. But I'm not gonna tempt fate. Anyway, so as I was talking about before I took a break there, I got this problem with energy level, and under stress, I think we all revert to our comfort zones. So for me, I recharge my batteries, and I feel better for going and spending time alone. You know, I work on projects, I read books, I play computer games, I spend time by myself. Some of my friends that are more extroverted, they recharge their batteries, they get their energy level back by having contact with other people and being social. And I don't automatically work that way. Now, I had gotten, in the last couple of years, to a really good place where I was sort of an ambivert. An ambivert, if you've never heard the term, is someone who's comfortable both in introverted and extroverted modes, or someone who cycles between the two. Now, I kind of cycled, but mostly it was just that I'm an introvert by nature, but I really enjoy the attention when I get out and act like an extrovert. So, I was doing that, and it was going really well. And last year I had an awful lot of extrovert time, and I was the life of parties and having a great time. I felt like I had sort of turned over a new leaf as far as my social image went. Not that I had a terrible one before, but like I was being, more like deliberately open and accessible to people. And howdy. And this year has been really, really tough for that. Moving houses and making our 2 mortgages worked month to month, and trying to fit in all the other social obligations we have with our existing social groups, spend time with friends, spend time with family, take care of kids. A lot of it would be fine if we didn't have the atypical level of stress. Excuse me. If we didn't have the atypical level of stress associated with all the things that are kind of over and above our normal family life. And right now I'm working on my backyard a lot, and it's been a rough 6 months since we've moved. Well, 5 months since we've moved. But we're coming up on September, and a lot's going to get easier because our daughter's turning 6 at the end of the year, and she's going to be going into kindergarten, so a lot of her daycare costs are going to go away. So that's going to help pretty tremendously. But until that happens, we're still bearing some additional costs up through August. And right now, I don't remember if I've said this before, but the house sale is it's off, it's dead. Our realtor gave up completely and sent us termination paperwork. She said, I've been trying for over a year. I can't sell this house. It's not going to sell, and I'm done trying. And we said, yeah, we're done trying too, because trying to sell it while we're trying to rent it was a problem. We felt wishy-washy, and it was also causing our commitment to one or the other to waver, because we were trying to keep all of our options open. And just because we got someone who made us an offer, we didn't know if that offer was going to go through, so we didn't want to tell the rental people that we're done trying with them, even for now, because maybe the offer would die. But they have to know that the offer could die. So it was a really weird spot to be in, and we eventually decided that we were coming up on being done anyway before our realtor was like, yeah, fuck this. So that's all done. We are definitely renting it. We actually have someone who put in an offer to rent today. Maybe that'll close, maybe it'll work out. That would be amazing. And if it doesn't, well, what do you do? Anyway, so that's all contributing to my stress levels. So my point is that I'm under rather a lot more stress. Creepy bunny, creepy bunny, creepy bunny. I'm under more stress than I usually feel like I would be. So it's been harder for me to project the confident, extroverted exterior that I would like people to get to meet. I have that. It's in me, and I can do that. But man, it saps my strength to have to do that when I am maintaining all these other factors in my life. So I think we all do that, and that's something that I'm like I said earlier, increasingly aware of right now, is that you watch people and see how they behave, and you can tell when someone is under undue stress, because their behavior goes toward an extreme. And so if you haven't seen a friend in a while, you might know it's because they're an introvert and they must be hitting a rough point where they've gone home. It's not necessarily because they don't want contact with their friends. It's just they're not in a place where they can do that right now. I think that everyone has like a psychological capacity for going outside that shell. And the more life shakes you up and the more it slaps you around with difficult stuff, the harder it can be to get out there and be the person that you would like to be if you had all the energy and all the time in the world. So for me right now, if I could, I would be juggling all of my motovlogging priorities for you guys, and I would be making clothing on a regular basis for people, and I would also be taking free time to go paint models and run role-playing games and just all this stuff that I enjoy all of it, but my ability to engage in all of it just drops off. So those are my thoughts on engagement and stress levels and what we all sort of revert to. And I think other people do the exact opposite. And so I find myself coming home from work and I've got my kids to take care of at that point, and I pretty much just shut down. Like, I know that I could be working more strenuously on things, but I just don't have the energy for things. That guy was talking to himself. The first one, not the second one. The second one seemed to mouth something, but I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to try and get back to recording more. I'm going to call that the end of this vlog. Thanks for coming along with me. I appreciate every view I get. I love doing this for you guys. It does not stress me out to make these. I just have to have the energy to do it and the time around all the other stuff I have to get done. So that is the Ace Hardware I'm headed to. Thanks for taking this trip with me, and I will follow through on one more thing. If I find what I'm looking for here, then I'll let you know. I'll turn the video back on one more time. In fact, you know what? I'll turn it back on one more time after I'm done. You know what? They are closed. They're closed as hell. Yep, they are closed. That sucks. Okay. Well, there's that answer. Not going to be getting that screw tonight, but you know what? I tightened all the other ones down. It's not coming out right now, and it's been out for a while, frankly, so it's not a new issue. It's just, you know what? I was out. I didn't feel like going to Tuesday Night Coffee tonight. I don't have any money to go get afters with everybody anyway, and I'm not going to mooch. Reed was real nice to me and covered me once, and I have not yet had a chance to pay him back. So I feel like once I'm indebted to one person, I'm done. I'm not. Even if someone else was being generous, you know what? I appreciate it, but I don't feel right about relying on people's generosity just to get to do regular things like that. So I'm going to sign off now and go stir up trouble riding around town. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.